fear is. The Mariyama do. They thrive on it. These monstrous celestials haunt the darkest corners of the cluster, hunting for isolated targets. And, unfortunately for their victims, the Mariyama are interested in more than just stealing cargo. They want minds, memories, emotions. The more twisted and tortured, the better. Captured prey will be subjected to intense psychological torment before being neurologically drained. Those rare few who the Mariyama allowed to survive and escape often never return to space, for they know too well the terror that lurks out there, in the dark, between the stars. I am CZ Orlev. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
You may not remember, but back at the Game Awards in 2023, Matthew McConaughey suddenly appeared on stage representing a new studio called Archetype Entertainment.
Pew, pew, pew.
And once all the sci-fi fantasy nerds in the room had stopped screaming, weeping and passing out uncontrollably from sheer exposure to Van Zandt, we were shown a trailer for a new sci-fi game. But it's not just any old sci-fi game. Sci-fi games are 10 a penny these days, and a lot fall short of ever really capturing an audience desensitised and honed on years of continuous reimagining of the genre, and that's where Exodus slides into view. The executive producer for Archetype Studios is none other than James Olin from BioWare, who worked on Baldur's Gate, Knights of the Old Republic, and Dragon Age. And we also have Drew Karpyshyn as well, who was a senior writer on Knights of the Old Republic and the lead writer for the first two Mass Effect games. Now you're starting to see where this is going. What, you just thought I picked a random sci-fi game out of the ether? No, a lot of people are excited about this game because it has some people making it who have just been given a bucket load of cash and told to do what they do best. On top of that, in this clip here we found out they've also acquired the help of science fiction author Peter F. Hamilton, who's been helping bring a lot of the realism and ideas to the science behind the universe.
So when we were first doing concepting on the universe of Exodus, we really wanted to have some great science fiction minds involved in helping us build this universe, and also writing books that could help support the universe, build the backstory. So we made a list of our favorite science fiction authors and put them into tiers of how influential, popular, and how much we liked them. And I think there was 4 tiers. Anyways, I was expecting I'd get lucky if I got an author from maybe tier 3. I wasn't dreaming about an author from tier 2 or 1, and Peter Hamilton was in tier 1. And when I found out that he was actually a possibility, that was very exciting for me. And yeah, we got him, and he helped immensely in helping us create this universe and make it much more believable and also scientifically accurate in a lot of different areas. So it was a big boon for us. I'm a huge fan of his. I've read all of his books, and I've also read his new book set in the universe of Exodus, and holy crap, it's awesome.
And now I love pretty much all science fiction, don't get me wrong, but see when it at least attempts to stick within the confines of realistic physics, or even has a vein of respect for reality, that's what really tickles my pickle. Like The Expanse was just my favourite thing ever. And I don't mind crazy technology or improbable space folding and stuff like that. As long as there's a passing nod to known science, I'm fine. But see when they start adding the word quantum in front of everything, oh my god, I swear. I want to take that quantum freaking toothbrush and stick it. Anyway, we're getting off track. Let's stay on track. As we've seen in the intro, we could be looking at a whole new level of space-related miscreants come to haunt our dreams. A species that tortures and terrifies its victims before draining their minds of memories and emotions. Just floating in the outer reaches looking for isolated prey. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want nothing to do with any of that noise. And that's the first time for a while I've had such a visceral reaction to an enemy in a game. And there's something that everyone should understand about that for some reason makes it so much worse. All of the so-called alien species in this game have what we would call a terrestrial origin. You've maybe heard the science of what would happen to people within multiple generations if we started to live and reproduce on places like Mars. Our bodies would start to adapt to our surroundings, both in an evolutionary way over time and in an environmental way that would see humans diverge from their Earth-based cousins. Lower gravity would lead to lower bone density and muscle, and we'd see babies start to develop longer limbs. If oxygen is scarce, lungs might get bigger, red blood counts might increase, and they might start to more efficiently use oxygen, similar to how some high altitude populations on Earth already do. And there's other things too, like eyes might change to adapt to lower light, skin tone would change because of the increased radiation, and the radiation overall might force more genetic mutation, which in the long run could see beneficial adaptations take hold faster. My point is, sorry, I was totally off on one there, the idea that humanity spreading among the stars realistically should also mean that we all become aliens to each other. In this game, we've been separated by time and distance and environment for up to 40,000 years, and have evolved into all kinds of crazy stuff, including these guys, the Marayama. How these guys evolved into repugnant, writhing arcs of nightmare gristle is beyond anyone's guess. But there's already the seeds of not only that more realistic premise of all the species we meet being from an old Earth, but something about that makes any analogues we meet all the more unsettling. And it also comes with that nice poetic punchline of our greatest enemy always being ourselves. It's important to note that it's not just humans that have made it off Earth and into the far-flung stars. It seems various other animals have been uplifted by us into sentience using technology in its various forms, and they too have been speckled among the stars for an outrageously long time. So far, the details of the story have been kept somewhat under wraps, but the basics have been revealed to us and we can glean a lot from what we know. The player seems to start off as a scavenger explorer who has stumbled across some ancient remnant tech. Remnant in this case means they once belonged to the Celestials, who are a very advanced branch of humans who not only outnumber us, but outmatch us both intellectually and technologically. This remnant tech seems to be in the form of a ship that can travel at near light speed. The player character is then tasked with exploring the galaxy to find more celestial artifacts. Each piece will have a massive implication for how the story unfolds, as you can choose how it is implemented back on your home planet. You can choose to put it into making weapons to help you in surviving being at the bottom of the galaxy's food chain, or choose to put it towards helping humanity grow and learn. Each trip out at those sort of speeds though means that what will only be a few days for you will be decades for everyone else. And that right there is another really cool concept that, handled well, could be an immensely powerful tool for progressing the plot. Each time you return home, you will be faced with the repercussions of your previous endeavour. See firsthand the advancements made in the intervening span of time. And even though this quest would appear to flaunt time in a way few games before it have dared, according to the devs, time is also our greatest unseen enemy. The story takes place in the Omega Centauri cluster, which is a very unique, real-life location to choose for their game. It is situated in the Milky Way, but it has a number of attributes that make it very interesting, as far as globular clusters go. For a start, it contains about 10 million stars, which is a lot more than a typical globular cluster should. The stars also seem to be pretty diverse in both their age and metallicity, and there's also a possibility of a black hole existing. Add to that the retrograde motion counter to the Milky Way's motion, and all signs point to this being the remnants of an ancient galaxy that the Milky Way has at some point consumed. This location was chosen by the team for these obviously very peculiar characteristics, and again you can see why my science-based curry is getting spiced in all the right ways. Essentially, you play a character called June who was genetically engineered by his mother and father to bridge the gap between celestial and human. Your ability to interface with celestial technology is an unusual gift that may be the key to saving humanity from an engineered celestial virus named rot. Other than that and some first glimpses of characters, there's not really much else to go on. Gameplay wise, we know even less. We know that the progression options you choose will likely affect your own abilities and possibly the abilities of your companions as well. And there are moments in the trailer where we see powerful abilities in use. Exploration will likely play a big role as well, and you may be able to choose between several destinations and go and explore restricted areas within them, but the devs mentioning that the missions will be targeted on retrieving remnants likely means that it will be quite a focused gameplay experience. We have seen some small snippets of combat and traversal, and it all looks to be pretty intriguing stuff. The comparisons with something like Mass Effect Andromeda are obviously easy ones to make. I personally never really understood why that game got such a bad rap. I absolutely loved the hell out of it. And if this even comes close to that in terms of gameplay, I'll be very happy. What really seems to be hijacking eyeballs and holding them hostage is the crazy artwork and visuals on display in these trailers. The locations look very distinct and varied. The characters at first glance are interesting and fresh on the eyes. Something draws you to automatically want to know more about this game. Not to mention, it's very likely that Matthew McConaughey is going to be some internal AI or a character that the player interacts with a lot. As far as a release date is concerned, we still have no idea. There are estimates it could be as early as 2026, but we will have to wait and see. If you'd like to stay updated on that and many other things, then do subscribe, because I'll definitely be updating about this going forward. I'll also put a link to their newsletter in the description as well, which, by the way, if 3 or more of you sign up to, we all get this cool cape in the game when it launches, as well as a set of armour. Now, I know what you're thinking. Did I make this entire video just so I could get 3 people to sign up so I could get said cape? Yes. Yes, I did. I can't think of anything worse than exploring space looking like a hobo. With all that said, I hope that helped someone somewhere gain some new insight on this illustrious project. There is a lot to get hyped about right here. Make sure to watch my other videos kicking around the screen somewhere, and hopefully I'll see you again sometime. 07 guys.